Is Kai Greene a fake vegan? This morning, meaning just 60 minutes ago, I woke up and took a look at the comments from my previous video that I uploaded yesterday about Kai Greene. And guess what? Those comments weren't always rosy. Rational Learner writes, Brian Turner exposed him. Kai is not being honest. Plant-based news didn't even read his book, but jumped on the hype wagon as well. Greg writes, check out Brian Turner's video on this man. Kev, a long-time supporter and a true OG of this channel, writes, I'm still figuring out if Kai is bullshitting with all of this, to be frank. So I watched a video of Brian Turner while still laying in bed, which is something that I never do. But I really want to know what this shit is all about. Then once I arrived here at my co-working space, I decided to even buy the book of Kai Greene. So today you will know which person is right. Brian Turner or Kai Greene? Or might there be a truth somewhere in between? Let's hit it. I just read through the book of Kai Greene, and the only thing that I can truly say is that it's weird as f***. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's written how you'd expect Kai Greene, an Olympian bodybuilder, to write a book. It's a rather philosophical journey to an island where the people are big and shredded and only eat plants, and then you return to a westernized, civilized society. In page 9, and I can't show you pictures of the book, but if I would do, it would look like this. Kay writes that in the modern world, where you have the choice, you need to throw out the benefits of lean animal-based proteins. Together, in a balanced approach, you can have the benefits of the modern world and the wisdom of the stranded island. In here, he's talking mainly about the digestibility of protein and simply the protein density of animal foods, which isn't really a beneficial thing. Literally, the whole book, in my opinion, is directly written, like typed in by Kai Greene on his computer. Now you might think, there's Kai Greene on the book's name. Isn't this what usually happens? No, it isn't. Especially if you're famous, if you're like Donald Trump. Donald Trump never writes his books. He has ghostwriters that does this for him, simply because it would be a huge financial loss if those celebrities like Donald Trump, Richard Branson would decide to write a book. But in this case, I feel like Kai Greene just came home after chest workout, went to his computer, and like, I'm interested in the vegan diet, and typed some stuff in without really doing his research. And then in the end, after he went through his journey, through his mind journey, he decided, why not sell it? Only $5. The way I see it is that from these couple of lines in the book where he doesn't vilify an animal diet, like eating animal products, you cannot tell if Kai is serious or not. He might be a fake vegan, he might turn a carnivore in the future, an idiotic carnivore, but for this point in time, you really don't know. Kai could also turn into a huge vegan advocate. And to write Kai off this early, I think, doesn't really bring justice. Yes, he probably published this book way too early. But in the end, Kai is a very impulsive guy. I think there might even be a chance that Kai is really encouraging a plant-based diet privately while he advocates for a balanced diet publicly. As for example, I realized Arnold Schwarzenegger does.
Do you cook at all?
Yeah, of course. My favorite thing to cook is, of course, steak.
And if you talk to James Cameron or Arnold Schwarzenegger and you say, but what about grass-fed, ethically raised, distributed agriculture? They say, oh, that's not practical, therefore be vegan.
Kai writes about the balanced approach simply because he knows that people are way more inclined to try something new if they know that they can turn back and they don't have to miss out on anything. For example, when I first became a vegan, now about 5 years ago, I realized that I was a huge fan of McDonald's. I liked Big Macs. And I was eating Big Macs a lot. That's classic. And I told myself that when I become vegan, I will at least have a Big Mac once again. I will have a Big Mac again because I don't want to miss out on this. And guess what? 5 years in, I never had a Big Mac again. And just recently I ate a burger which tasted really similar. to a Big Mac, actually, like a vegan burger. So that was quite nice. See guys, to some degree, I think that the video from Brian Turner, although I really like this guy and I like what he stands for, is virtue signaling. It's like, look at these fake vegans, why we from Vivo Life, or like these other guys, are so freaking perfect and we're in this for the right reasons.
That he hasn't done any actual research, he just got into it because he knew people were getting hyped on him. He saw that there was a huge new following of people on his page and he said, hey, I could write a really quick book for $5, sell it, make some quick money. I don't really actually care about this movement. I don't really care about the people who are trying to get into this movement. I just, see that it's a good trend. And I think that happens a lot when people go into it without an ethical reason for it and without actually truly wanting any health benefits from it.
The reason I have a little bit of issue with this, Brian, is because your claim to fame on a vegan diet is that you cured your acne. That's how you got famous. Is that you cured your acne on a vegan diet, when in reality, at the same time, you took a very effective prescription drug called Roaccutane. Although you're very open about taking this drug, most newspapers that write about you don't really mention this drug at all.
What's up everybody, welcome to week 43 of my Accutane adventures. Now we are in natural sunlight, but let me take it to artificial light so you can see the difference in my face. Here's me in artificial light, very negative, cold, neutral lighting. Now you'll see a little bit of a difference. You can see some of the red marks on my face a little bit more, but what's really cool is this week, it's like I'm finally cleared. There's nothing I can think of. There's no actual cysts or zits or bumps that I can think of other than the blackheads.
The next day.
How you guys like that down there? It's time to go eat some food while we edit this video. Alright, yes guys, I am gonna have beef stroganoff again. It is what I have every day when I edit. It's basically my editing meals. I'll have some beef stroganoff and some sourdough. So what this is total is each sourdough piece is 100 calories, so 200 calories plus 270 calories, which is 470 calories, but now I have to add it to my little program since that's what I'm doing today. I'll just get the barcode up. You know what? I decided screw it. Let's knock out the rest of the calories right now. So I'm cooking some chicken breast as my protein, because I pretty much just need to get protein and fat in.
And guess what? Same in my case. I got prescribed Roaccutane too. And same in Frank Tufano's case. Frank Tufano also took Roaccutane and somehow this f***ed him up.
As many of you know, I haven't been sleeping well. And to give some background, I took a drug called Accutane like 8 years ago, and that damages your liver.
The point that I want to make here is that for some reason, Brian Turner also capitalized on a vegan diet very early on in his journey. And if a person would have claimed early on that Brian is in this for the wrong reasons, it probably would have been discouraging for him and probably is not the message that I would like to send out. See, I think from a business perspective, there is a reason why Brian has made this video, because Brian is selling ebooks by himself in a very similar price range. So Brian, I'm not saying this is true, might have felt threatened by the launch of Kai Greene's ebook, might have even seen a decrease in sales and decided to use virtue signaling to decrease the sales of Kai Greene while increasing his sales. Now again, Kai Greene's book isn't the best of all, but I'm just saying that this is what might be happening here. I'm also telling you that while you might be critical of new vegans, you also need to be critical of existing vegans. Like, you even need to be critical of myself. If I'm full of then you need to tell me that I'm full of Now, is all of this true? Am I right here? Is Brian the bad guy? Is Kai Greene the bad guy? I don't really know. I cannot tell. That's the thing, is like, you can always tell in hindsight, but you can never tell before. You cannot predict the future that good. See, when you're in public spotlight, when you have a YouTube channel, for example, with some subscribers, then I've realized this one thing, that you're never as good as they say you are, and you're never as bad as they say you are. The chances are actually here that Kai Greene is a fake vegan. I know. But the chances are also there that Kai is just simply a very enthusiastic and impulsive guy and wanted to publish an ebook about the vegan diet. So you don't know. I can't look into the brain of Kai Greene and realize this beforehand. But just what I've seen from Kai Greene, I actually think that he is the explorer. He is the guy that wants to learn something new. And if you think about it from a business perspective, because he wrote a book about the plant-based diet, it's likely that he will not go back because he invested in this movement. There's such a thing as a loss aversion bias in humans. The more you invest in a certain cause, the less likely it is for you to go back. Because if Kai Greene would switch his diet right now, then guess what? He would make 0 sales with his book. My advice is, don't write off Kai Greene too early. He might turn into a stupid ex-vegan, even a carnivore, like Bobby's perspective, but beforehand, you never really know. I think let's just be glad that he advocates for a vegan diet at this point in time. Again, guys, I might be wrong here. I don't really like to be proven wrong by people turning carnivore, but I think let's give him the benefit of the doubt and hope for the best. Let me know what you think in this comment, and don't forget to smash the shit out of this like button. Until next time. Ooh, this was a very hard spin. I feel slightly dizzy. The mission of this YouTube channel is to put veganism across the goal line. If you want to help us achieve that, like and subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Let's make food production great again.